Welcome everyone. Feels good to be back, even though we're going through these weird times, so please stay safe and healthy. Today's video is focusing on the planning of the city of Barcelona, and more specifically about its factors and growth along time, so it will be a bit different from my other videos. Some time ago I did a poll and this was the highest voted option, so I hope you like it. Barcelona is very interesting all around and it has too much to cover in general. We could talk for hours about it, but I will focus on 3 different points in time: beginnings of the city, the planned expansion of the 19th century, and recent developments or current status. Anyway, if you want to learn more about it and go deeper into the urbanism and history of the city, I will leave some good links in the description. Before we go ahead, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video if you find the content interesting. Barcino was the Roman Barcelona, a small city at the time and considerably less important than other major centers such as Tarragona or Zaragoza. The settlement of the city in the current location was influenced by the favorable conditions of the environment. A vast plain protected by several hills surrounding it, the Tibidabo and Montjuic among them. It has direct access to the sea that facilitated the maritime trade with all Mediterranean countries. Also, the Llobregat and Besós rivers helped connecting the city towards inland Spain. All these factors influenced the settlement as well as the growth of the city a long time. Also, during the Roman Empire, the Via Augusta was the most important land connection between Rome and Spain. It stops first in Barcelona and then keeps going towards the south of the country. Also, many other cities in the center and west of Spain, as well as Portugal, were connected with Rome through Barcelona. Barcino had the form of a Roman fort, a wall that surrounded the whole city and 2 perpendicular streets, crossing it north-south and east-west. The north-south street is the Cardo and the east-west is the Decumano. In the intersection of the streets, the heart of the city, the Forum, where all city life took place. The compressed structure of houses following a grid can still be clearly seen today, although without the city wall. It remained after different expansions until 1854, when it was finally taken down. As soon as the wall's demolition was announced, plans began for an expansion of the city. In 1855, the central Spanish government approved the plan by architect Cerdá, that influenced many other Spanish expansions after. Those city expansions extended cities beyond their traditional limits by demolishing city walls, transforming riverbanks and subdividing the rural land outside the city limits. His city model was set out to make his extension of the city a model of orderly, clean, safe, hygienic urban living. He focused on urban quality and the seek for an egalitarian structure. The basics of the city, implemented then but still present currently, kept the old city without the walls, already taken down, and placed 5 main straight ways to connect the city across. On top of that, he overlaid a grid, using the same city block over and over. All blocks were 133 by 133 meters, with a northwest to southeast orientation to maximize daily sun exposure, and had chamfered corners to accommodate for the tram's turning radius, as Cerdá believed it would be extensively used in the future as a means of transport. The blocks had commerce on the ground floor, with the bourgeoisie living on the floor above, and workers were slated to the upper floors. This distribution structure was very common in the 19th century, where the first floor was the most valued in the building. Also due to the fact that elevators were not so common back then. Originally, each block was to be built up on only 2 or 3 sides with a depth of 20 meters and a height of 16 meters. In between the 2 or 3 built-up sides, a recreational green space providing a green belt for the entire city. Although, due to the low control in the execution processes, this evolved into a 4-side block very fast, to increase density and profitability. In 1992, the city hosted the Summer Olympics. As a preparation, the city underwent very important changes. Until then, the city was located next to the sea but separated from it with industrial areas occupying the waterfront. These were demolished and relocated, and the link of the city with the Mediterranean Sea was developed, creating 3 kilometers of beach. Together with that, all city infrastructures were revised and capacities were improved. Main road connections, public transportation. Montjuic area is now designated to host several buildings where Olympic events will take place. Therefore, even though it underwent several updates in the 20th century, one of them linked to the international exposition that took place in the city in 1929, several public venues and buildings were executed, such as the Palau Sant Jordi by Arata Isozaki and the Tower by Norman Foster. Also, the Olympic port was developed to host several events, and with this there was an improvement of the quality of the industrial neighborhoods. In addition, there was as well a campaign to renovate many buildings inside the city. So all these changes impacted massively in the city development, and they transformed it, increasing its offer and appeal. All in all, as I said, I find the city super interesting. It has a lot. The city planning is very interesting, the rhythm of the city, churches, Gaudí, parks, modern architecture, design. It's a never-ending list of interesting things to do in the city around art. So that was my take on some points of the city. As I said before, I will leave some links in the description if you want to investigate more. Please leave your impressions of the video in the comments below. It would be great to know what you think about this different format, and I promise next video will drop sooner than later. Thank you everyone.